Sixers fans, emergency broadcast, okay? Drop everything. Brian Windhorst just went on ESPN and dropped an absolute bombshell about Joel Embiid. Wow. That changes everything for this season. Not only is Embiid back on the court, but sources inside the Sixers facility are saying he looks better than he did before the injury. And if that wasn't enough, Nick Nurse just went on the record, gave us a specific timeline, and it points to Embiid playing opening night against the Boston Celtics. Right, this is not a drill. The process is back. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to expose the miracle happening inside the Sixers training facility that proves their championship window has been blown wide open. We're talking about Brian Windhorst's shocking eyewitness report, the verbatim quote from Nick Nurse that confirms Embiid could play in days, the video evidence of Embiid's cheat code moves that have teammates in awe, the Paul George injury update that proves the Sixers could be at full strength for opening night, why rival execs are now in a full-blown panic over Philly's new Big Three, and my nuclear prediction about the Eastern Conference that'll have Boston and Milwaukee fans in shambles. This isn't speculation. This is insider intelligence from the most trusted names in the NBA media, and it all points to one thing. Yes, a championship parade on Broad Street. But before I drop these nuclear truth bombs, you need to smash that subscribe button, okay? This is the kind of unfiltered, high-energy Sixers truth that the national media is too afraid to talk about. Drop a basketball emoji in the comments if you are ready to trust the process one more time. This is Philly Sports Truth, and we're not just reporting the news, we're exposing the real story. Yeah, truth over everything, Sixers family. All right, Sixers fans, let's get right to the report that sent shockwaves through the entire league, okay? This comes directly from ESPN's Brian Windhorst on NBA Today. For months, the Sixers have been silent, right? Cautious. No one knew the real status of Joel Embiid's knee after that disastrous 2024-25 season. We all had those, war flashbacks to the lowercase p process years. But then, over the weekend, something happened. Yeah, Embiid didn't just show up to the team's blue-white scrimmage, he dominated. Here's what Windhorst said, and I am reading this verbatim. Joel looked good in this scrimmage, but I think it's more important that he was playing. The Sixers have been very cautious not to get out ahead of everything, as you can imagine why. Did you hear that? The caution is over. The process is back on the court. And according to Windy, he wasn't just participating, he looked good. But here's the part. Listen, that should make every Celtics and Bucks fan absolutely sick to their stomach. Windhorst dropped this nuclear prediction about Embiid's timeline. I am assuming he's going to try to go in that, and if there's no setbacks, I assume he might be out there for opening night. I think the Sixers could have Joel Embiid at the beginning of the season next week. Next week. Unbelievable. Opening night against the Boston Celtics? We went from wondering if Embiid would play before Christmas to him potentially being on the court in 7 days. Windhorst even said, and I quote, "The idea that he could come back before Paul George was not something I expected. This isn't just a recovery, Sixers fans. Wow, this is a miracle. This changes the entire landscape of the Eastern Conference before a single real game has been played." Now, if you think Windhorst was just hyping things up, let me give you the proof from inside the building. The Athletic's Tony Jones was at practice and confirmed what Windhorst saw. Not only did Embiid play in the scrimmage, he was a full participant in spirited one-on-one games after practice. And the footage? It's insane. He's moving better, quicker, more fluidly than he did at any point last season. But don't take my word for it. Here's what his own teammate Kelly Oubre said after watching him. This is a direct quote from The Athletic. He had the cheat code out there. A cheat code. That's what his own teammates are calling him. We're not talking about a guy hobbling his way back. No, we're talking about the 2024 MVP looking like he's been upgraded. And then came the confirmation from the head coach himself, right? Nick Nurse, who has been playing it safe with the media for months, was asked if Embiid had a chance to play in the final preseason game on Friday. His response? No hesitation. Direct quote, "I think there is some chance." Some chance. That's the first time anyone from the 76ers organization has publicly put a timeline on his return that is measured in days, not months. Nurse even added, "We've got some thresholds to get over yet," which is just coach speak for, if he feels good tomorrow, he's playing. Sixers fans, connect the dots. Insiders are seeing it, teammates are confirming it, and the head coach just publicly acknowledged it. Yeah, the process isn't just back, he might be better. Okay, so Embiid is looking like a world beater, but what about the other multi-million-dollar question, right? What about Paul George, the man who called his first season in Philly rock bottom after dealing with his own knee surgery, the guy we were all worried about? Well, the good news just keeps coming. According to the Morning Call and Sixers Wire, on the same day Embiid was looking like a cheat code, Paul George also took a massive step forward. He participated in live, full-court 3-on-3 drills for the entire practice. Wow, this was his first live action since his arthroscopic surgery in July. Let me put this in perspective for you. The two pillars of your franchise, both coming off serious knee surgeries, are now practicing together, playing in live drills, and are both trending towards being ready for the start of the season. Daryl Morey's vision, the one that the national media mocked, the big three of Embiid, Maxey, and a healthy Paul George, it's about to become a reality. Remember, all those talking heads on ESPN saying this team was cooked, right? Saying the championship window was closed, saying Philly was a play-in team at best, they were all counting on these injuries to linger. They were counting on a slow start. What they weren't counting on was both stars being back on the court, looking explosive before opening night. Yes, the entire narrative around the 76ers has been flipped on its head in the last 48 hours. So what does all this mean? Let's talk about the league-wide implications, because I can guarantee you there is panic in the front offices of the Boston Celtics and the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, their entire offseason strategy was built on the assumption that the Sixers would be a non-factor for the first half of the season. Boston was planning to coast into that opening night game at home thinking they'd face a Sixers team led by Tyrese Maxey and a bunch of role players. Now they have to prepare for a fully formed, healthy, and angry Big Three led by a returning MVP. And Milwaukee, they thought they had a clear path to the top of the East with Giannis and Dame. But a healthy Embiid is the one player in the entire conference that Giannis has no answer for. The Sixers just went from a potential 8th seed to a legitimate threat to the number 1 seed overnight. Okay? All those preseason power rankings, throw them in the trash. They're irrelevant. This is why you trust the process. This is why you trust Daryl Morey. While everyone else was writing this team off, they were working in the shadows, getting healthy, and preparing to unleash hell on the rest of the NBA. The Sixers aren't just a dark horse anymore. No. With a healthy Embiid, a motivated Paul George, and an all-star Tyrese Maxey, they are the co-favorites to come out of the East, period.
Sixers fans, based on these explosive reports, it's time for some nuclear predictions. Prediction number 1. Embiid plays opening night. Probability 80%, okay? He'll test it out in the preseason finale, feel good, and there is no way he's sitting out a chance to make a statement against the Celtics on national TV. Prediction number 2. The Sixers start the season 8-2. Look at their early schedule, right? Celtics, Knicks, Pistons, Raptors. With this big three healthy, they will run through the first 10 games and put the entire league on notice. Prediction 3. Embiid is the MVP frontrunner by December. The comeback narrative is too powerful, okay? If he comes back looking this good and the Sixers are winning, the media will have no choice but to put him at the top of their MVP ladders. Prediction 4, the nuclear one. The Philadelphia 76ers will finish with the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference and host the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Yes, this is their year. For 2 years, we've been waiting. We've endured the injuries, the playoff disappointments, the constant disrespect from the national media. But the waiting is over. The process is complete. Yeah, Embiid is back, PG is back, and this team is built for a championship. Get your parade routes ready, Philly. This is it. Sixers fans, if you believe this is our year, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, right? When Embiid drops 40 on Boston on opening night, you'll get the instant reaction right here. Drop a comment. What are your expectations for Embiid this season? MVP, championship? Let me know. Share this with every Sixers fan who needs this dose of pure, unfiltered optimism. This has been your truth teller, reminding you what happens when you trust the process. Okay? We out.